Hello everyone, I'm Veena Gandhi. Once again welcome you all in last part of the video functions in a C. In this video you will learn storage classes. The topics covered in this video are what do you mean by storage classes? Second, what do you mean by scope of variables? In that you will learn local variable and global variable. Then types of storage classes, auto, static, register, extern. Then we'll see comparison between auto and static variables and assignment on above topics. Now what do you mean by storage classes? When you define or declare a variable in a program, compiler will allocate the memory for the variables. Means every variable in a program has a memory associated with it. So memory requirements of variable is different for different types of data. So memory can be allocated or released at different places. So storage class refers to the manner in which memory is allocated by the compiler for the variable. A storage class of a variable determines the following things. First, storage area. Means place where the variable is stored. It can be a main memory, it can be the register, etc. A scope of variable. Region or part of the program in which variable is accessible. Then default initial value of the variable and lifetime of the variable means period of time during which the memory is allocated for the variable. Next, scope of the variable. A scope of the variable in any programming is a region of the program or part of the program where defined variable can have its existence, and beyond that region or block variable cannot be accessed. The scope of variables are two types, local scope or block scope, and second is global scope or file scope. What is a local or block scope? A variable is said to have local scope or a block scope if it is defined within a function or local block. A variable having local scope is known as local variables. Means if you define the variable inside a function or inside any opening and curly braces, it's called as a block, then it is having local scope or it is known as local variable. Now, statements within a function or within the block can access that variable. So lifetime of variable remains till that block or function where it is declared. File scope or global scope of a variable. A variable is said to have global scope or file scope if it is defined outside the function and whose visibility is in entire program, which can be accessed throughout the entire program. So variable defined within the global scope is called as global variables. Normally these global variables are defined outside the function, usually on the top of the program before the main function. Now these global variables hold the values throughout the life of the program, and they can be accessed inside any of the function defined in that program. Let us see program on local scope or block scope and file scope. Now here first include the header file stdio.h. In main function we declare a variable num1 having value 0 of type integer. Then we declare a function void message. In printf in main we are printing the value of num1 equal to %d num1, and after that we are calling the function message and return 0. Now this num1 is local to this main function, means its scope is given in the only main function. It cannot be accessed outside the function, outside the main function. Now in message also we declare the variable num1 equal to having value 1 and type integer. Now this num1 is local to this message. It cannot be accessed outside the message. Its scope is within the message only. And printf \n in the message num1 equal to %d num1. Now I have already executed this program and you can see the output here. In main num1 equal to 0 and in message num1 equal to 1. Means this num1 is local to this main, so its value is 0, and in message num1 value is 1, so it is local to that only message function. You cannot access this num1 outside the message function. Now suppose if I remove here int, so if I want to access num1 of the main function, it will give error. See here, num1 undeclared in the function local to function main num1 equal to 1. So we cannot access that num1 declare in the main into the message. Let us see another program on global scope or file scope. Now hash include stdio.h, first include the header file, and after that we declare a function message of type void and int num1 equal to 1. So we define a variable num1 of type integer having value 1. Now this variable and this function define above the main function. It is known as num1 is known as a global variable and this function is known as a global function. Means we can access this function in any other function also. So int the main function printf the value of printf main equal to print the value of num1, and after that we are calling the function message here. Then again also message we are printing the value of num1. So printf \n message equal to %d num1. So now scope of this num1 is entire throughout the program. Means if you define any number of program, any function can access that num1. Means main function can access, so message function can access. If I define one or two more functions, and if I call that a num1 in that function, it can be visible in all the functions. Means its scope is in throughout the entire program. You can see the output here. In main equal to 1 and message equal to 1, means num1 having global scope or file scope. Let us modify the same program. Here I have declared num1 as a global variable, as well as num1 is defined inside the main as a local variable. So this num1 which is defined before the main function is a global variable, and this number which is defined inside the main function having local variable. Now printf main %d num1. So here it will print 10 because why? This local variable suppress or bypass the global variable, because its scope is in this main function only. This num1 having scope only in the main function. So this local variable suppress the value of the global variable. After that I am calling the function message. Now in message we are again printing the value of num1. Now this num1 is global variable. This in message function it print the value of the global variable. So you can see in the output main equal to 10, means in the main value of the local variable is printed, and in the message value of the global variable is printed. If the name of the local variable and global variable are same, then local variable suppress the value of the global variable. Types of storage classes. C language supports 4 types of storage classes. First automatic, second static, third register, and fourth external. Let's see one by one all these 4 classes. First storage class, automatic storage class. This is the default storage class used by all the variables. Means suppose if in main function I declare 2 variables int a comma b. So a comma b having automatic storage class by default, though we do not mention the keyword auto, but they are of type auto storage class. So all variables declared inside the function or block are of type auto storage class by default, though we do not declare it explicitly. So in order to define explicitly, we use the keyword auto keyword. Now these variables declared by using auto storage class are stored in a main memory. So storage is a main memory, and they having scope, local scope or block scope. The default initial value is garbage. and lifetime of this variable exists as long as the control remains in the block or in the function. As the control goes out of the block or function terminates, these variables are destroyed. This memory is deallocated of these variables. So we declare this variable like this. Atto keyword is optional. Int and number. So first storage class, then we define the data type, and then we define the variable name. So atto int num1. Second storage class is static storage class. Static storage class is declared with the keyword static. Now these static variables are initialized automatically to 0. Static variables continue to exist even after the block terminates in which they are defined. Thus the value of static variable in function is retained or persists between the repeated function calls to the same function. Now storage of static storage class, variable is main memory, and scope is local scope or global scope. We can define inside the function, or we can define on the top above the main function. Default initial value of the static variable is 0, and lifetime the value of the variable persists between the different function calls. And so how to declare? We declare by using storage class first, static, then type int and variable name num1. Let us see example of atto and static storage class. Now here in this program, first include the header file stdio.h. In the main function, declare a variable num of type int and having storage class atto. If we don't specify atto storage class, by default it is atto only. So num equal to 20. Now this num scope is still throughout the main function. Now print a \n num %d num. So it will print first 20. After that again I create the block by creating in opening and closing braces. Atto in that block I define again the variable num of atto storage class having type int and num equal to 60. This 60 value only exists, scope of this 60 is only in this block. We cannot access this 60 value outside the block. So printf num %d num, it will print the value 60. After this block ends, the value of this num variable will be destroyed. Memory will be disallocated. Again here printf \n num %d num. So this value num of equal to 20 will be here printed. So you can see in output num first 20, then in the block 60, and again 20. Let us see example of static storage class. First include the header file stdio.h. In main function, declare a function display, void display. Here display function is called 3 times. After that, in display function, we define 2 variables. One is atto storage class, one is static storage class. So atto int a equal to 0 and static int c. So by default static variable having 0 value. So c will having 0 value. Now we increment c++ and a++ and then printf the value of c and a. The first time when we call display, at that time a having value 0 and c having value 0. So c++ c will be 1, a++ a will be 1. So it will print 1 1. So you can see in output 1 1. Again second display function is called. At that time again this a will be initialized to 0 and c will persist the previous value, because static value persists the values between function calls. So it persists the previous value, it is 1. So c++ will become 1 become 2 and a will become 1. 0, a having value 0, so a will become 1. So it will print 2 1. Again third function called display. Again after that again a will be initialized to 0 and c will be persist the previous function value, that is what 2. So c++ will become 3 and a will become 1. So it will print 3 1. So static variable persists the value between function calls. Its scope is entire within the function calls entire program. So you can see the output here 1 1 2 1. Third storage class is register storage class. Register keyword is used to define the local variables. Now these local variables are stored in CPU register instead of main memory or RAM. If the pre-registers are not available, then they are stored in a main memory only, because CPU registers are very less. So if the registers are not free, then these variables are stored in a main memory. When variable is stored in register, the maximum size of the variable is equal to maximum size of register. Now when you store this variable in register, the access is faster than the main memory. So usually few variables which are required frequently in a program are declared with the keyword register, which improves the runtime of the program. We cannot dereference the register variable, means we cannot use address operator, or we cannot find the address of the register variable. Now storage are CPU register, means if we define the variable using register storage class, they are stored in the CPU registers. Scope will be local scope or block scope. Initial value is garbage. Lifetime exists as long as control remains in the block. And how we declare register int count. Let us see example of register storage class. First, include the header file #include stdio.h in main function. Now declare a variable I of type register storage class int I. Then for I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus, printf %i. We print the value from 1 to 10. Now here we declare the variable I with the register storage class. The compiler does not guarantee that this variable will be stored in the CPU registers. If the CPU registers are available, they are free, then only this I value will be stored in the CPU registers. Now when to use storage register storage class, suppose I is required frequently in a for loop. So so that's why we declare the I variable as a register storage class. So which variables are required frequently, and we can store in a CPU register instead of in a main memory. Last storage class, external storage class. Extern keyword is used to denote the external storage class. Now the external storage class is used to give a reference of a global variable that is visible to all the program files. The external storage class is used to tell the compiler that variable defined as an extern is declared with an external linkage elsewhere in the program. So when you use the extern, the variable cannot be initialized because it has defined somewhere in the other location or other file that has been previously defined. So the variable declared with the extern are not allocated any memory. When you have multiple files and you define a global variable or function which also used in other files, then extern keyword will be used in other file to provide the reference to define variable or function. Just for understanding, extern is used to declare a global variable or function in another file. The extern modifier is most commonly used when there are two or more files sharing the same global variables or functions. Now storage is main memory, scope is the file scope or global scope, default value is 0, lifetime is as long as the program execution does not come to end. How to declare that extern int num1. Let's see example that you will understand. Here are two files a.c and b.c. In a.c, I define #include stdio.h and I define the global variable int count. Then I define here function with extern storage class, extern void write extern. Now in the main function, I initialize the value of count equal to 5 and then call the function write extern and return 0. Now here I have not defined the function write extern here, only declare. But this function, this extern tells that means this function is defined other file. It tells the compiler that this function write extern is defined other file. Now in b.c, hash include stdio.h. Now here I use the word extern int count. Means this tells that this count keyword, this count variable is already defined in other file having global scope. So in this file we write the function void write extern void. So printf count is %d and %d backslash n count. So it will print the value of count as a 5. So when we want to share the global variable between multiple files or global function between the multiple files, then we can use the external storage class. Let us see comparison between Atto and static variable. Now in static variable, we have to specify the storage class to make a variable as a static. So we specify static as a storage class. It is a default storage class. There is no need to specify the keyword Atto. Default value of static variable is 0. Default value of the Atto variable is garbage. Static variable having local as well as file scope. Atto variable having block or local scope. Static variable retains its value between different function call. It holds its last value. Now Atto variable retains its value till the control remains in the block in which variable is declared. The static variable will be compiled first by the compiler. Automatic variables will compile by the compiler after the static variables. So we declare static inti. Here we declare Atto inti or inti. Let us see assignment of this. Short questions. Define a storage class. What are types of storage classes? What is the global variable? Then long questions. Let us short note on storage classes. Differentiation between static and Atto variables. Explain the local and global variable with example. If you like this video, please share and subscribe the college channel. Thank you for watching.